We're going to continue looking at ways to display our data. And what we're going to look at now is we're going to look at line graphs. Line graphs are those that normally present numerical data, those that are numbers, and it shows a trend over time. Usually a line graph could be a broken line graph, depends on what we're looking at. Because the line graph generally contains no gaps or breaks, it's used for continuous data, meaning those that are things that can be anything in between. So things that are measured, such as height and weight. You're not just 5 foot 6 inches. You could be 5 foot 6 inches and a fourth. 5 foot 6 inches and a half. Anything between 5 foot 6 inches and 5 foot 7 inches. Whereas discrete data, you're in one number or the other. Number of siblings. You have either 5 or you have 6 siblings. You don't have 5.5 siblings. Now I know we've gotten in the habit of saying if someone is pregnant, we've got a half of a sibling. That's a discussion for something else, for maybe a psychology or biology class. But really, it's a whole sibling type thing. Number of classes that you're taking. Well, you can only be taking 1 class, 2 class, 3 classes. You can't be taking half of a class. And so those are the discrete values, those things that have to be in one value or another. Line graphs, therefore continuous, because you can go anywhere in between 2 numbers. Let's look at an example of a line graph, and that's inches of precipitation. Now, if we think about these as being the inches over here, well, I can be anywhere between 10 inches and 15 inches. Even if I had this being 10 and this being 9, I could be anywhere. I could be 9.5, 9.6, 9.55 inches of rainfall. Okay? We're measuring this over time in the different months. And we read the line graph. Many of us have done this in different classes over the years. So let's look at this graph. During which month was the precipitation the highest? Okay, so we go up here and we find the highest precipitation. And okay, so that's going to be April. During which month was the lowest precipitation? So we find the value with the lowest, and that's going to be July. Yep, this sounds kind of like Texas. Not sure which state this is in, but sounds kind of like us right now. Between which 2 months was the decrease in precipitation the greatest? So look between January and February. Did this decrease or increase? Well, between January and February, the amount of rainfall actually increased. Between February and March, it increased. Between March and April, we had a larger increase. We had a 10-inch increase. Okay, between April and May, we had a 5-inch decrease. Between May and June, we had 5, 10, 15-inch decrease. And between June and July, we had a 5-inch decrease. So between what 2 months did it decrease the most? And that would be between May and June. So it's asking which 2 months did it decrease the greatest, and that would be between May and June. Approximate the amount of precipitation in February. So we go to February and we follow it up, and that's going to be about 15 inches. And so this is looking at a line graph in which we are interpreting that data.